About, folks, this is where all the big racing happens. This is where all the big results unfold. This is where people become world champions. This is where people book their tickets to Paris in 2024. My name's Ross Solly. It is great to be with you this afternoon. It is a chock-a-block crowd here. You can probably hear them in the background. The Germans have turned out in force, but it's not just the Germans, the French fans, the Spanish fans, they're all here cheering on their athletes. It's been a disrupted day. We had rain, we had thunderstorms, we had lightning, so we're coming to you a lot later than originally planned, but we are here with you this afternoon, and we have 13 finals coming your way over the next hour and a half or so, so I hope you can stick with us. Joining me here in the commentary box, it's my very great pleasure to welcome South African paddler Esti Oliveira. She joined me in Poznan. She's back here with me in Duisburg. Esti, it's been a wonderful week, and what a wonderful afternoon we've got in front of us.
Well, we've got really stacked finals ahead of us, and I'm very excited to see this first race coming up with the K1 Men 500 meter A final.
There's going to be some big names racing in this. Of course, not all the races this afternoon are Olympic qualifiers. You can see the list here of races that are coming up. The K1 Men's 500 is not an Olympic event. Most of the Paracanoe races we'll bring you, though, are all Paralympic events. So they will be racing not only for world titles, but also for tickets to the Paralympic Games next year. The first Olympic qualifying event will be the C1 Women's 200 Esti, which I think will be a wonderful, wonderful race between athletes from all over the world. It really has become an international race, the C1 Women. And of course, we'll finish off our broadcast today, incredibly exciting, the K4. We've already had the semi-finals. We know the makeup of the finals for the K4. We know the first 9 boats who are going to get tickets, who've got tickets to the Olympics next year for the women's K4. The men's, it's a bit of a mystery. There's still places to be won.
Still a few places to be filled up from the B final and through the continental representation. So the stakes are high.
So we just saw there the field for the men's K1 500. And it really is, Esti, isn't it? You were saying what a great race it's going to be. This is a who's who of men's paddling in recent years.
Even though this isn't an Olympic event anymore, like it's stacked with all the biggest names. I mean, we've got Renee Holten-Polsen from Denmark, John van der Westhuizen from Australia, Fernando Pimenza from Portugal, Timon Maurer from Austria, young gun coming through, Balin Kopac from Hungary, Moritz Florstedt from Germany, also a young guy that did really well on the World Cup circuit. The Spanish from Inigo Pena, Joseph Dostal, Tommaso Frecci. It's going to be a hell of a race.
It really, really is. And Joseph Dostal, he's getting probably towards the end of his career, but he loves this race. He's been a world champion in the K1 500 3 times, so he would love to add a 4th one. Balint Kopac from Hungary, of course, he is the Olympic champion over 1,000, but he's not racing in 1,000 here because Adam Varga beat him to it, but they're off and racing. So lane 5 is Balint Kopac. Fernando Pimenta, the Portuguese powerhouse, is in lane 3. John van der Westhuizen is a defending world champion in lane 2. It really is a who's who here, and getting away now, it looks like in lane 3 it could well be Pimenta from Portugal, who has taken out the early lead. So looking across the field here, closest to the camera, it looks like Dostal, he's second from the bottom, is in a very good position. Pimenta up towards the top of the screen, and Balint Kopac in the middle of the course. So they are spread out. 1, 2 and 3. It's Kopac at the moment from Hungary in front. Dostal trying to chase him down, and also Pimenta. So Kopac in front, Dostal and Pimenta fighting to try for the minor positions. But it looks like Balint Kopac at the moment. They're about halfway through the race. Kopac looking strong.
Kopac looking strong, but this is where the race is decided. So we're going to see who comes through on this last 100 meters. Kopac looks determined though, picking up that stroke. Here comes Dostal pushing hard. Sure, John van der Westhuizen there on the outside, coming through strong.
Yes, van der Westhuizen, the Australian, really laying down some punch. So it's Kopac in front, Dostal trying to really
John has caught him.
Van der Westhausen from Australia may have put his nose in front. It's Kopaz though. Kopaz just ahead of Van der Westhausen, and Dostal flying home, but it's going to be Balint Kopaz. He has a point to prove this afternoon, and he's done that. Van der Westhausen second, and I think Dostal may be just ahead of Pimenta
No, this
for
is
third.
very close for third. We're going to have to wait.
But Balint Kopaz is a man that has a point to prove this afternoon. He had a really strong tussle with Adam Varga for that one position in the men's K1 1000. Varga beat him to it, so Kopaz doesn't get a chance to defend not only his K1 1000, but to earn that quota for Paris next year. So he wanted to prove a point this afternoon, and he's gone out and he really is from
really
the start.
Yeah, he was out from the blocks first, and he kept that lead all the way through. I don't think he was planning on losing this one at all.
You mentioned you picked it up really early, Esti. Jean Van der Westhausen flying down the outside there, the defending world champion. But in the end, Kopaz getting there ahead of, maybe Pimenta got third ahead of Dostal. We'll wait and see. So there is Kopaz definitely.
No, I think it was Pimenta.
Pimenta got third ahead of Dostal. So it's a pretty talented podium there with Balint Kopaz. Look at the happiness. Of course, his main focus will be the K2 500.
Absolutely, yeah, with Bente.
Yes, they're trying to get that quota for Paris next year. But there's confirmation. Balint Kopaz, the Olympic K1 1000 champion, is now a world champion in the K1 500.
Fantastic racing.
And it's coming down now to the victory podium. And hopefully in a moment we'll get a word from Balint Kopaz. I'm sure he's pretty excited to be a world champion, and a very appreciative crowd here. I mentioned it's a very good sized crowd. They've hung around for this. Let's have a listen to our Hungarian world champion, Balint Kopaz.
He is our first world champion for sprint of 2023. How do you feel?
That's right. I am very happy that I won this race because there is lots of very hard champions and Olympians, and my opponents were very strong, and it's a big deal for me.
And how is your mindset for the next race, the K2?
Yes, I hope with Bence we will very strong tomorrow and Sunday. We are in a good form. That's the most important for me. And I think Bence, yeah, we plan, we will win a medal, I hope.
Thank you, congratulations, Balint Kopaz.
I'm sure we will see him racing the 1000 at the Olympics though, because aren't they allowed to?
So yes, so in the Olympics they are allowed two athletes, so that is why it's absolutely essential that they qualify. If they don't qualify the K4 this afternoon, and that's going to be an epic race, they definitely need to qualify the K2, and then they can put two athletes in the... but then it becomes a mystery of who do they put in the K2, because then they want to... there's a lot of machinations that will take place.
Yeah, I'm sure the Hungarian selection process will be quite tough.
The Hungary, of course, Esti, is like several countries. Actually getting onto your national team is harder than winning a world title sometimes.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Balint Kopaz on becoming a world champion. Congratulations to Jean Van der Westhausen. Of course, his main focus as well will be the K2 with Tom Green. That's going to be an absolutely thrilling race, as Balint Kopaz said, the day after tomorrow will be when that is decided. And to Fernando Pimenta, who has been doing well in the 500 all season. His big focus, of course, is the K1 1000. That is the race that he really is preparing himself for. And another showdown with Adam Varga, the Hungarian. And I'm just licking my lips, Esti, even thinking about those two going head-to-head over 1,000 metres in what should be one of the races of the weekend.
Yeah, it's always an epic battle for that 1,000-metre title.
It really is, and even more epic when it's interesting talking to some of the athletes this week about what their main focus is. Is it to become a world champion, or is it to earn that Olympic quota? Because there are mixed feelings, aren't there? In the end, everybody wants to get to Paris, and you want to book that ticket for Paris. But if you can also become a world champion on the way, well...
What a cherry on the top.
What a bonus. What an absolute bonus. So I will, when we get to each event, I'll fill you in as best I can on how many quotas are available for the Olympics. Some of them, for example, the Paracanoe, which we're about to see, it really is quite straightforward. The top 6 countries will all earn quotas to go to next year's Paralympic Games. So the top 6 countries, not necessarily the top 6 athletes. So for example, if 2 athletes in Great Britain finish in the top 6, only 1 will earn a quota. But of course, at the Paralympics, you can have 2 racing in a race if you have the athlete available to do it. So we'll bring you all of that so you know exactly what the state of play is for each event. But it really has added a bit of excitement to the week. How about this weather today, Esty? I mean, the first few days we were here, it was so hot.
This morning it was pouring.
You were did you see the racing this morning in the bucketing rain?
I saw the races very comfortably from my bed.
Yeah, well, you're in the best place, I think, because I can tell you it was very, very wet out here, and we had to cancel a few times and delay because of lightning. But here we are, we're underway now, and there's no rain. There's a little bit of a breeze about there. Can you tell, Esty, is it a tailwind?
Yeah, I think it's one of those perfect tailwinds that it's actually one that helps you along, and it's not too choppy and it just cools off a bit. So I don't think the athletes could have asked for any better conditions for these first finals of the World Championships.
So we're now having the athletes for the KL1 men's 200 introduced. There is the Frenchman, Remy Boule, who has been a bronze medalist at the World Championships and the Paralympic Games in this event. So, and there is Luis Carlos Cardoso da Silva. He has been a silver medalist at the World Championships and the Paralympic Games. And there is our favourite, Peter Kiss. He is the reigning Paralympic champion. He is the reigning world champion, and I have to say, he looks very strong.
He looks very comfortable and strong at the moment. His countryman next to him,
Robert Suba, who was one of the very first people in. He was at the very first Paralympics when Paracanoe made its debut. Still going strong. 2 Brazilians in this race as well. There is Luciano Lima as well. And fantastic to have. I'll let you read this one out, Esty, if you will be so kind.
Oh, no. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
There's Saeed Ozenpouzzarouni. I've been practicing that so much. Floriana Jesus. Yes, I've been practicing our Iranian friend's name, Saeed Ozenpouzzarouni. And I know that's probably nothing like what it's meant to sound, but...
no, but it sounds fluent enough, yeah?
You cannot believe how much I've been practicing.
I can't believe
I much prefer Peter Kiss. It's much easier.
Much easier. A little bit softer on the tongue.
Yep. So Peter Kiss, he was telling me the other day, he has been battling a little bit of illness. He hasn't been 100% coming into this event, but felt good enough his heat to get through in a fairly comfortable time. He is the favourite. Interestingly, the top 3 have been consistent for the Paralympic Games and the recent World Championships. Kiss, Cardoso da Silva and Boule. Of course, for Remy Boule, he just wants to make sure he's locked away that ticket for Paris next year in front of his home crowd. It'll be what it is all about for him. And a very staggered start there. A couple of the athletes very slow out of the blocks, but in the middle of the field, in the green boat, it's Peter Kiss. Right next to him, the Brazilian, Cardoso da Silva, and then Remy Boule, the Frenchman.
Kiss definitely not looking like he's being held back by any illness. He's going really strong, but the Frenchman's challenging super hard on his right.
So at this stage, it's Peter Kiss from Hungary, looking to defend his world title. It looks like the Frenchman, Boule, may actually even be ahead of the Brazilian, which will be a turn up for the books, but it's Peter Kiss cruising down to the finish line. I think Remy Boule will hold on for the silver, and Cardoso da Silva, the Brazilian, will take the bronze. But there we are. It's the same 3 medalists that we've had at the last 2 major events, and they confirm their form there. Peter Kiss, an outstanding athlete. He's been a wonderful addition to Paracanoe and has really taken every hurdle that's been put in his way, and he will be a red-hot favourite to defend his Paralympic gold medal next year and showing good form He's got a bit more facial hair than when he first started in the sport.
It's quite interesting to see his stroke rate compared to the other athletes as well. He has a lot, like a longer, more powerful stroke where the other guys seem to chase more cadence, but it, I mean, obviously works for him. So it was just quite interesting to see that unfold. But I mean,
well, let's have a look at what you're talking about here. There's Robert Suba. He's a Hungarian teammate, and there's Peter Kiss. He got out of the blocks really well, actually.
Yeah, he got out really fast.
And you can see the stroke that Esty was talking about there, just quickly into it. And the Brazilians, well, they tried as hard as they possibly could, but in the end, Peter Kiss showing once again his class.
Force to be reckoned with.
Now we indeed. Now we should just check, try and work this out for quotas, because the top 6 countries. And please, I'm going to tell you the best of what I can see here. Don't take it as gospel, but to my reading, Hungary, France, Brazil, Iran, and China.
Yep.
Have the 6 quotas, so that's a fantastic result for Iran and China. And I'll just explain to you in a moment, after we've heard from Peter Kiss, how this might all work. But we'll cross down now to hear our gold medalist, Peter Kiss.
Peter Paul Kiss, world champion for the 4th time in a row. Congratulations. How was this race?
Oh, really, really tough, but I'm very happy. Can defeated my title. The weather is better, so I really like that race.
And how do you feel to win your ticket to Paris?
Oh, awesome. I'm really excited to Paris, so I'm happy I make it.
Congratulations, Peter Paul, world champion, KL1. Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, well, yes, 4 times now, world champion. That's not a bad result, is it?
Definitely not a bad run.
So, just letting you know, so I read out there the 6 countries who have quotas. The reason I read out the countries is because it's not the athletes who earn the tickets. They earn the tickets for their country. It's then up to the federations to decide or to work out who will represent them at next year's Paralympic Games. So I'm not quite sure that anybody will be able to knock off Peter Kiss to represent Hungary. But so that is what happens. So Hungary, France, Brazil, Iran and China have the 6 quotas. To my reading, they are the countries that have the 6 quotas from that event, from the KL1 Men's 200. So well done to Saeed Hosem-Pozarini for snatching that quota for Iran, and for the Chinese paddler Zhao Yu as well for getting a quota for his country. He looks pretty happy, Esty. He looks like he's pretty satisfied with his work today.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad day's work. Punching that ticket to Paris, definitely not something to frown about.
No, absolutely not. So now let's move on to our next event. This is also a Paralympic event. It's the VL2 Women's 200 metres. Now, Emma Weeks has dominated this. She's won this for 4 years in a row as the world champion. She's an absolutely outstanding athlete. She's also won Paralympic gold medal as well, twice. So she will be the red-hot favourite. However, Brianna Hennessy from Canada has really been racing the lights down here. She has really been churning through the water, and I am expecting that Emma Weeks, who hasn't really been challenged in this event for a long, long time, is going to find it a bit of a tough going today.
I think both ladies on Susan Seipel from Australia is also not a bad competition on her left, so I definitely think she's going to feel the heat on both sides racing down the course. But I mean, there's nothing like a little bit of competition to bring out the best. So
absolutely not.
Let's see what happens. Well, if she wins this, then it'll be her 5th in a row that she wins.
5th world title in a row for Emma Weeks. Yeah, so that's not bad. And
not terrible, no.
She came across to, there's Brianna Hennessy, she looks determined, and there's Emma Weeks, who just seems to be getting better with age. I think she's, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, I think she's 43 this year, but wow, she is still, and she's had injury problems, she's had a bad wrist, she's had all sorts of things. but she's still going strong, as has this young lady, Susan Sopel. She's been paddling since the very start in Paracanoe. And you can hear the German fans. They love it every time one of their athletes is on the screen. Katharina Borenschmidt is competing for Germany. From Uzbekistan, we have Irakan Rustamova from Uzbekistan, and in the outside lane, the Hungarian Dalma Boldazar. So very, very international field here. We have athletes from Japan, India, Brazil, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, Germany, Uzbekistan, and Hungary. We will crown a world champion, but we'll also allocate 6 tickets to next year's Paralympic Games.
Yeah, and then as there's no countries that seem to be doubling up in this race, the top 6 boats will be the top 6 countries that qualify quotas to the Paralympics.
Yep, so no need to worry about who finishes. Well, of course, we're very happy for the athletes who finish 7th, 8th and 9th, but they won't be going, or their country won't be going to the Paralympics in this event. So Emma Weeks and Brianna Hennessy, Susan Sopel, they are the 3 to watch. I'm tipping that Brianna Hennessy is going to give Emma Weeks a really tough time today. Just on what I saw from Hennessy in the opening days of these World Championships, she seems to be paddling now as good as I've ever seen her paddle. We know what Emma Weeks is capable of. She's probably feeling as healthy and as fit as she has done throughout her career. This is going to be a great competition. This is going to be a great contest as these 2 young ladies go head to head. There's also Susan Sopel, as SD mentioned, and a few other athletes as well who can give them a bit of a shake. And we're underway. And
quick start there from Emma Weeks, being pushed by the Canadians.
So Emma Weeks getting out hard and fast early, really trying to lay down a marker early on. So it's Emma Weeks, look at that stroke rate. She is really going for it. Brianna Hennessy just above her on the screen. Emma Weeks is in the white boat. Just above her in the red boat is Hennessy from Canada. Sopel from Australia is in the green. They are the 3 at the moment, but it's Weeks in front. Hennessy trying to get to her. How much?
Just keeping that cadence.
So Emma Weeks working really, really hard here. Brianna Hennessy is trying to get to her, but it's Emma Weeks. She is so good at this event. She is such a champion. She's pulling away now as she gets towards the finish line. World title number 5 is coming your way, Emma Weeks. Get your boat straight. Don't get out of your lane. Emma Weeks, Susan Sopel moving up now, challenging for second, but it's Weeks first, Hennessy second, and Sopel third. Wow.
5th consecutive world title for Emma Weeks. That is fantastic. That really is a result to be proud of. You can see her there being ecstatic and really happy about everything.
So she's such an emotional athlete. She really wears her heart on her sleeve. And Brianna Hennessy.
The pain there, lactate burning, mixed with joy.
And the thing about Emma Weeks is she's such, not only a wonderful competitor, but she's such a wonderful ambassador for this sport. And she will, you listen to her, she will say something afterwards about how wonderful it was to be pushed and to have Brianna Hennessy and Susan Sopel pushing her.
I mean, I just noted like a lot of the ladies had to switch sides with the paddles trying to keep that boat going straight. And I mean, it's a lot like the C1. It doesn't have a rudder, so you have to steer with the blade. And considering everything else, that must be extremely difficult, trying to keep that stroke rate up, trying to keep the boat moving, and then still, you see they're trying to fix that from Aussie.
Yeah, Susan Sopel trying to, in typical Australian fashion, knock her opponent out of the water. This is something we do a lot in Australia. And look at this, look at the emotion here.
Some fantastic camaraderie among the athletes. It's so nice to see.
You have to say the Paracanoe community, they are so tight-knit, and look at that, folks. If that doesn't stir your emotions at home,
yeah, I've got
goosebumps. I know, look at that. This is, I mean, you have to remember the sacrifices all these athletes make. It's a really tough slog to get to this level, and to put it all out there and to come up with a result. It's just, you know, for all those early mornings, those hard days during the cold winters.
It's just as much work as anybody else, and a win and a qualification and a ticket means just as much. The work is the same, the commitment is the same, the sacrifice is the same.
Prachi Yadev getting India that ticket.
Wow, that's
Brazil
really good.
and Germany. Of course, Prachi was at the last Paralympics, so if she maintains her form and gets the ticket for India for next year, she'll be at her second Paralympic Games, which is fantastic for India.
Is this the only event where the para athletes can qualify for the Paris Games, or do they have another?
No, so next year in Szeged at the World Championships, there'll be more quota spots available for athletes who haven't yet qualified.
So that'll be the Para World Championships next year.
Next year, Paracanoe have a World Championships in Szeged in Hungary. So there will be tickets available there. So we're about to cross down to, it's like backing a Mack truck in with these VARs, but Emma Wiggs knows how to steer her way around. Let's have a listen to her and what she thinks about becoming a world champion for the 5th consecutive time.
Emma Wiggs, world champion in VL2, 11 gold medal. No, how do you do that?
I can't. As I was paddling over, I was thinking I won't cry, but I am crying. I'm just really pleased for my coach and my family. It's been a real rough year. And I'm just so proud to be part of this team. So to get another medal means the world. And it's just so great to see the standard of Paracanoe coming up so quickly and so well across all the classes. So this is a fantastic venue. I won my first World Championships here in 2013, so it's amazing to be back, and I'm just so grateful to the people of Germany.
And they love you. Congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.
Yeah, as you said, what a fantastic ambassador for Paracanoe.
Every time she speaks, she makes me cry, and it annoys me. Stop it, Emma. But I mean, look, she had 2 minutes there, and she basically covered everybody. She covered her opponents, the crowd, the venue,
the team,
everybody. She's such a professional, and what a worthy world champion. I know everyone home in Great Britain will be cheering, and she's a very popular athlete. She's a very popular ambassador for the sport, so well done. Now we move on to the next race. Now this is not a Olympic event, unfortunately, anymore, but it is still a World Championship event. It's the men's C1 200, and we're getting there. There's Peter Kretschmer. He is an Olympian from way back, I think, in London. He was in the Olympics.
Yeah, the crowd going nuts.
And alongside Peter Kretschmer from Germany, we have Zaza Natarazzi from Georgia, the man in black.
Yeah, also been on the scene for a long time. Definitely also never an athlete to underestimate.
Maybe one of the few people who'll be glad the weather's not as hot anymore, wearing that head-to-toe black. It was a little bit tough. Now, possibly the favourite, I don't know, Joan Moreno from Spain. He set a pretty fast time in the semi-finals this morning. This was our fastest qualifier, though. Artur Gulev from Uzbekistan. He won a World Cup gold earlier this year. He is out to win a world title now. Viktor Stepanov, 3rd in the World Championships last year from Kazakhstan, will be one to watch as well. David Koczaks from Hungary. Also a very, very exciting paddler. And an Iraqi who was very happy to get through to the final. I wonder what he can do now in the final. And we didn't get a chance to mention, but in lane 2, it's the defending champion, the defending world champion from Poland, Aleksiej Koledic, but he was beaten in the qualifying semi-finals this morning. The winners in the semi-finals were Moreno, Natarazzi and Gulev. But you wonder whether somebody like Peter Kretschmer, who is such an experienced paddler, whether he's kept something in the tank for this in front of his home crowd. And Esti, we've already heard, they're very vocal.
Yeah, but also you can see across the board the Germans seem to just get like a second gear as soon as they hit the grandstand, and they hear the fans going nuts. So I experienced the same back in 2013 in Duisburg, and it's just like amazing the atmosphere that the crowd creates.
So this is a real splash and dash. This is 200 meters. They'll be going for it from the start. Maybe Artur Gulev from Uzbekistan is the favourite. Peter Kretschmer from Germany, Nederatsi from Georgia, and Kolidac from Poland. They were underway, and who got the best of the start?
I don't know, that's pretty equal. No one seemed to really pull away. Lane 5 seems to be going good.
The Spaniard Moreno is going really fast. Alongside him is Nederatsi from Georgia.
Yeah, you see the Spaniard pulling away from the group now.
And you can see Gulev now, they're coming through as well from Uzbekistan. And across on the top of the field, it is the defending world champion Kolidac from Poland. Now it's going to be a really good finish here. We've got the Spaniard Moreno in front.
Uzbekistan coming in with a huge surge at the end.
Uzbekistan has really thrown it down as Gulev just. Gulev just.
That was an amazing final 50
What a
meters from
finish.
Uzbekistan. Oh my word.
I thought Moreno had that in the bag. The Spaniards thought he did as well, but Artur Gulev has timed that to perfection.
That was insane.
When Moreno sees this confirmed, I don't think he's going to be that.
I really want to see that
Happy.
in slow motion. That boat just rocketing through the water.
As you said, Esther, the last 100 metres, maybe even 50 metres.
Yo, 2 boys to go.
Well, Moreno is celebrating, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm pretty certain that Gulev got it from Uzbekistan, but let's have a look here. Moreno is celebrating like it's his gold medal.
I hope so, for his sake.
Well, let's have a look here. There we go. There's the start. And Gulev was a little bit slow out. He left himself some work to do. Moreno, the Spaniard, definitely got the best of the start.
Best of the starts, and he pulled away across the middle, but then the group started catching up towards the end. But that finish from Uzbekistan was unbelievable.
And the defending world champion was also up there, but it really was a racing two at the finish. And here we go. We'll get confirmation here. Look, you can see there.
Like that boat just
the Spaniard is in front. Now, where Gulev is right there on his outside. And let's have a look here.
Oh, it is definitely. It has to be
the Uzbekistani. Has to be the Uzbek.
Yo, it is. It is Uzbekistan.
Has to be.
Lane
Uzbekistan
6.
in lane 6 has got the gold. What a finish.
Poland in third, Spain in second.
And there we go. Absolutely Uzbekistan. What a perfectly timed race.
Lunch. Oh my word. How the guys stay in the boats when they lunch like that?
How do they stay in the boat full stop?
Okay.
My great mystery. But Moreno, they're celebrating like he'd won, but it's silver for the Spaniard. The gold is going to Uzbekistan.
Yo, what a finish. That was exciting.
It really, really was. As you would expect over 200 metres. He's pretty happy. The crowd are showing their appreciation for the man from Uzbekistan. Artur Gulev, you are a world champion, young man.
Okay.
Good job.
He's pretty happy, and the crowd are pretty happy to share this moment with him.
Artur Gulev. Artur Gulev. Artur Gulev. New world champion. Again, defending your title. How do you feel?
Спасибо всем, кто болел за меня. Спасибо всем, кто молился, кто поддерживал меня, готовил меня, моему тренеру, нашей команде. Всем большое спасибо. И большое спасибо вам всем, что болели сегодня.
And he thank you all the public. Well, congratulations.
Look at the
Looks like you can't believe it.
Obviously he's not sure. We weren't sure. We were pretty
weren't
convinced that he'd got it, but we weren't 100% certain. And look at that at the lunge at the line. Wow. That is heartbreak for Moreno from Spain, who thought he might have had it, but Artur Gulev, you have timed that race to perfection.
That was a very well executed finish. Unbelievable.
And there's confirmation there.
0.04 difference between the two. That is nothing.
And Kolidac not that far behind. Nederatsi finishing fourth. Unfortunately for Peter Kretschmer, well, the crowd didn't do it for him today, back there in eighth. Good result from the Iraqi, Aldain there, up in sixth position.
Impressive.
So good to see as well. Strong international field and a good result across the board. Now,
We are 4 finals in, and I am on the edge of my seat.
I know, and I am super excited about this. This is the first of our Olympic qualifying events, and what a race this is going to be, the C1 Women's 200.
Yeah, good to see Nevin Harrison back on the line. She was pretty outspoken about mental health and struggles going through as an athlete. I mean, I think all of us can relate. So
yeah,
I hope she can get that joy racing down this track today, really.
Yes, she's going to have her work cut out in lane 1. And by her own admission, she had a back injury, which has kept her out of the water for the entire month of July, which is not an ideal preparation in anyone's language.
No.
But what a field. Now, I need to tell you, 5 boats, 5 countries can earn quotas here. There's Nevin Harrison. She's the defending world champion. She's the defending Olympic champion. There is Maria Maillard from Chile. Has been paddling in the C1 for a long time and is a very, very effective and efficient paddler. Expecting her to give a bit of cheek. Ludmila Luzan. Well,
very experienced.
Bronze medalist from Tokyo, of course. Maybe the rest of the field has caught up to her and she's struggling a little bit over the 200 now. Sophia Jensen, the exciting young lady from Canada. super good in the semi-final to qualify. The Chinese paddler Wenjun Lin also comfortably won her semi-final this morning. And this, I think, is the lady who will be the favourite.
Absolutely. Always exciting to watch the Cubans race, whether it's in C1 or C2.
Fun fact for you, she's a member of parliament in Cuba.
Oh, really?
She's 21 years old. She's the youngest member of parliament in Cuba. She got elected to the parliament recently.
That is crazy interesting. Wow.
Antia Giacomi from Spain. She's, of course, was at the Olympics, of course, as well. And well, don't forget the lady from Poland, Dorota Borowska. She won gold at the Europeans this year. She finished 4th in Tokyo. And on the outside, she'll be the closest to the stands. The German crowd will almost be able to reach out and touch her. And Nika Loschke, can the crowd lift her today? She wants desperately a top 5 finish at the very, very least, possibly even a world title. The top 5 athletes will all earn their country a quota. Now, I need to actually mention, there is a rider on that. If these same athletes are also in their C2 boats, it becomes complicated because you cannot earn quotas in 2 boats, but that's something we can sort out at a later date. But definitely if they win here, they'll have a quota for their country. Just means that they can't earn a quota in another race. Well, sorry, they can earn in the C2 and the C1 won't count. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So C1 we're all back.
Yep, exactly. So,
6 and 7.
we're underway. Let's watch the Cuban. Let's watch the Chinese athlete. Let's watch Harrison in lane 1. She is the defending champion. The Cuban
is off like a rocket. Nevin didn't have a bad start in lane 1, but China got off the line really well.
And it's the Chinese athlete, Wenjun Lin, who really is going out the hardest. The Cuban athlete, the boys, is trying to chase her down. And also in the mix now, it is the Spanish paddler Giacomi, who's also paddling really, really well. They come down now in front of us. It's the Chinese paddler, Wenjun Lin. Look at the Cuban flying home. And Nevin Harrison up in the top lane.
Spain coming in hard as well.
But it's the Cuban, I think. It's the Cuban who's getting in front. I think she's going to be the world champion. The Cuban Du Bois is the world champion. And Spain second, China third.
Looked like Nevin Harrison.
Nevin Harrison got 4.
Wow.
Du Bois having a swim, but she got the job done.
How are these sprint finishes from the C1 paddlers?
Unbelievable. Look at that. That is a happy swimmer.
That is a happy swimmer. Nice little cool down after the hot contested race.
There's something to tell the members of parliament about when she gets back to Cuba.
I think the entire parliament's having a little celebratory drink.
They sure are. Is this the way for a parliamentarian to behave? Well, when you've qualified for an Olympic Games and when you become a world champion, there's Nevin Harrison. She's just waiting to see now confirmation. She told me the other day that she really, really wants to defend her world title. It means a lot to her. She knew she wasn't at her very, very best, and I think it's always hard when you're an elite athlete and you know you can't
You know what? It's sometimes it's hard when the head tells you that you can still do it and your body just doesn't respond the way you remember it used to. So, but there's still time to fix it leading up to Paris.
And the Chinese paddler Wen Jianlin, she really stopped and in fact ended up third. Harrison fourth. Maybe Maillard from Chile got the fifth spot.
Yeah, did look like Chile.
So we why not?
Why not? As long as you're over that line.
Why not? She doesn't care. Look at her. She's very, very happy. She's got all smiles.
Fantastic.
She's a world champion. She's locked away that ticket for the Olympic Games, where she competed in Tokyo. This time she's going to go to Paris as a genuine medal prospect.
Yeah, we have
so Chirello, Du Bois, Giacomi, Lin, Harrison fourth. She'll be happy with that, I think, given her preparation. And Maillard from Chile.
Well, I mean, she's booked the tickets. It's not defending the world title, but it's booking a ticket and getting that opportunity to go defend the Olympic title, which I think, you know, is just as massive.
And really interesting. I said, Esther, in the lead up that Ludmila Luzan, that the world had, and the rest of the field had certainly caught up with her. She finished seventh.
Yeah. She didn't have the best of start. She was quite slow off the line. It just felt like she couldn't get that boat speed up.
And Dorota Borowska, the Polish paddler who was fourth in Tokyo, finishing eighth. So I think it really shows you how quickly the women's C1 competition is really progressing. But let's have a listen to our world champion, our Member of Parliament.
Yeah, ladies, what a finish. How do you feel for this medal?
For me, this is amazing because my training is very important for this competition. So I am happy, just happy.
And do you race tomorrow? Are you ready for tomorrow, the next day?
Yeah, tomorrow I have the final C2 500 meters. I go.
We are looking to see you. Congratulations to our new world champion.
So she just said she's racing in the C2 500 tomorrow in the final. If she qualifies the quota there, that means that they'll have to hand back this quota.
Yeah.
Which would then mean that it would then go to Sophia Jensen or to Canada.
So she will be having a sleepless night tonight until
she will have an absolutely sleepless night tonight. The other athlete, of course, is Antia Giacomi, who finished second. I'm pretty certain she's racing in C2 500 as well. And so if they qualify the C2 boat tomorrow as well, that could then throw it open to Ludmila Luzan, but then Luzan is doing the C2 as well, so that would throw it to Borowska from Poland. This is what I mean, Esti.
It's a nerve-wracking process.
It's not a simple process.
Absolutely not.
But what you can guarantee is that those top 5 athletes there, in one form or another, those countries will be at the Olympics. Cuba, Spain, China, United States, and Chile will all be at the Olympics. So that's great. I mean, look at that. Look at the continents. The continents represented. This is what I love about our sport, and I love about the way it's progressing, because you've got Cuba, you've got Spain, you've got China, you've got the United States, you've got Chile. I mean, what a great spread. You've got one boat there from Europe, and the rest is spread around the rest of the world.
Yeah, no, it is a fantastic spread. Which also makes it quite complicated when you start talking K4, K2. So
my head is spinning.
Some days I read the qualification and I think, it must be the most complicated.
And then, of course, we have the continental qualification, which, Esti, is what you're looking at for South Africa, of course, because the African
camps will be in
So just give us a quick breakdown of how that works. What does that work? Do you understand how that works?
It's a little bit more simplified, so we can qualify K1 or K2. But we don't have canoe boats, so we don't really talk about that. But we can only accept a maximum of 2 quotas. So if we do win the K2 and the K1 at Africa, we can only accept either the K1 or the K2. So I'm thinking at this stage South Africa would obviously send K2s to Africa Champs to try and qualify those quotas. And
but you compete in both though? You could do K2 and you could do the K1?
Yeah. So I probably will compete in both. But obviously the important one will be the K2 for both men and women.
And to get that quota, you have to win.
Yeah. It's winner it takes all. In the K1, it's the top 2 K1s. But you can't have two boats in the same nation in a race. And then for K2, it's just winner takes all. So I think we'll be gunning for that.
And your African Continental Championships is in Nigeria?
Yeah, end of November, Nigeria.
It's exciting.
It's going to be interesting. I've never been. So the last one I attended was in Kenya, and that was an absolute ball. We had the best time in Kenya.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that we can have a repeat of that.
And the possibility for you, I mean, South Africa, you didn't have an athlete in Tokyo.
No.
So to be back at the Olympics.
Yeah, well, for me, just to get to the Olympics would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It was I think a heartbreak for all of South African canoeing to not have an athlete represented at Tokyo. So definitely out in force to try and change that, to not have a repeat of that for Paris.
And the good news is, for those who are listening to you talk to me when we were in Poznan, and we were talking about how basically you were doing it on the smell of an oily rag, Esther. You were funding everything yourself. It was, you were paying for your tickets everywhere yourself. You were basically sleeping on the streets. Well, not that bad, but you were.
I was being very lenient on my friends in Europe. Yes.
Yes, but now you've got some support. You've got some funding, which is making.
Yeah, so I received some funding from our Olympic Committee through the Bidvest OPEX program, almost during the World Cup I found out, so during the second World Cup, so that's been a big help leading up to the World Champs and obviously for Africa Champs and everything, not having to worry about funding.
And I have to say, from an international perspective, from an international canoeing perspective, a strong South Africa is so important for our sport, and it helps lift everybody in Africa. And we're seeing here this week some fantastic African athletes who are really stepping up and having a crack. And I think the African Championships in Nigeria is going to be a really hot contest. You're going to have some tough races there.
Yeah, the African athletes have definitely picked up a lot over the years. Countries of Egypt, Tunisia. Fun fact, South Africa has not been able to win the K1000 meter men for the last few Africa Championships for quotas, because Tunisia has actually won it every single time.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some fair competition, and the level is picking up. So.
And the Egyptians, you mentioned Egypt, but they've got a really big team here and a strong team, and I know they're putting a lot of time and effort into. They all train on the Nile, which is not a bad marathon training course, but they've all trained there, and it's great to see them lifting as well and being part of it. Well,
it'd be nice to someday, maybe, hopefully, see some stronger African representation in the K2s and the K4s. We talk about the continentals and everything, but it'd be really nice. The last time South Africa had a really strong K4 was for the Beijing Olympics, when Nando still had Jen Hodson and Carol Joyce and Michelle Ire and Nikki Mocker. So it'll be nice if we can at some point get back to that.
For sure. Now, we are waiting now for the next final, which is the K2 women over 200, which is due to start in around 4 minutes from now. So they'll be calling them up to a start. This, again, is not an Olympic event.
But fun nonetheless.
You didn't have a K2 200 here, did you?
No.
You did the 500.
Yeah, no, I didn't do any K2 this World Championships.
So there's our Cuban. There's a bit of celebration going on there. They're pretty happy.
And rightly so. Oh my word, what a fantastic race from her. I mean, imagine the boost that she has for going into that C2 final tomorrow after this.
Well, knowing that you've got not only a world title, but you've got one ticket locked away for next year. It's a pretty good feeling to have.
But her and her C2 partner they've come a long way. They've been together for a while, so I'm pretty confident that they'll have
Well,
cracker race.
yeah, I must say though, their form of late, and certainly they didn't look that great in the heats. The women's C2
That's a
from
tough
Cuba.
bit.
What is that? That might be a bit of that South African.
That's a tough bit of
South African jerky or whatever you call
biltong.
it. Yeah, biltong. That's what it is. She's raided your bag and she's taken your biltong.
It's a precious commodity. That come on.
Yes. So here we go. This is the K2 women's 200 meters. And, well, some pretty good athletes here as well. In the middle of the field, the Germans. This could be Germany's first victory today, and I expect the crowd to tear the roof off the grandstand if they get up and win. There are the Spaniards. Sisters, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Zapato Gennaro.
So assuming, yeah.
Yeah. And Mercedes. Again, sisters. I think
Adriana
it's
and
sisters.
Anna? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
They look exactly the same.
Yes, they do. There's 15 years age difference, though.
Yeah, big gap. But they're doing well.
Now, these guys for Poland, they are the big threat to the Germans. I'm expecting the race to be between Poland, Hungary and Germany.
Yeah.
There are your Hungarians, Blanka Kiss and Anna Lutz.
Are they not the reigning world champions? I think they won in Canada.
Kazakh, yes.
Pretty sure.
Kazakh and Hayes from Germany. Kaylee Harlan and Natalie Drobot from Australia, a young team, a young combination. Linnea Stencils, you would have raced a lot against Linnea.
Yeah, we've been coming through the ranks together. Diana Ryback and Ina Klinova from Ukraine in lane 8. And then we've got Maya Hosomi and Yuri Urada from Japan in lane 9. Sweden and Germany, of course, force to be reckoned with in the K2 500 coming up over the next 2 days as well. So this will be a good opener for them if they can take this win. Very experienced crews between the Polish, the Hungarians and the Germans lining up here.
And this will be a good test just to see what effect the crowd can have, because Prazak and Haidt were the fastest qualifiers, and they will certainly have the crowd behind them. But the Poles, Klatt and Wisniewska, are also very, very fast, and don't discount the Hungarians in between them. So we're underway, and it looks like Poland have got out really, really fast there in lane 3.
And the Hungarians, Anna and Blanka, they seem to have a little bit of a lead over the field at the moment.
So it looks like it is the Hungarians and Poland who are...
Germany coming in now really quickly.
So the Germans now hit the front at the right time. It's Germany, Australia fighting as well, but it's Germany and Poland who are fighting this out. Poland maybe just, Poland just over Germany.
Tight race between Hungary and Sweden for third, but I think Hungary might have just put it over Linnea and Moa there.
Again, a perfectly timed race, but I think the Poles got there on the line against the Germans, and a really close race there for third. But
Martina Klatt, is she not in the K4 racing later on? Oh, so this is just
no, she was. I don't think she's in there. She's not in the 4 now.
Okay.
So
you see that grit and power coming through.
Germans were in front until about the last 50 metres. So there you can see
Hungarians had a really good start, but they were just hauled in there at the
they
end.
fell over at the end. Oh, look at that. Poland just over Germany.
Very close for third, but it looks like the Hungarians might have just clinched it.
As you said, the Hungarians got a great start, but unable to go on with it. But a gold medal for Poland. I mean, the Polish women's team has got so much depth.
So much. They can really just switch crews and still be so competitive across the board. That K4 though still.
I'm expecting their K4 women's crew later on today too.
Yeah, there we see the Hungarians just pipping Sweden for the bronze medal. Really good performance from the young Aussies as well.
Yep, 5th. And yeah, great result all round, but well done to Poland, collecting a world title. for Martina Klatt and Helena Wisniewska. Both of them have spent time in the K4. But at the moment they're focusing on the K2 here. It's not an Olympic event, as I mentioned, the K2 200. But that doesn't take anything away from the amount of time and effort they put into this. They'll be pretty happy now to be world champions, I think. And in just a moment we'll get a word from our gold medalists. Good Polish contingent in the crowd. Let's have a listen now to our gold medalist.
Martina and Elena, what a race. Very emotional. Winner right now. How was it?
It was a seriously nice race, but we stay focused and calm because tomorrow we have a semi-final for K2 500 meters, so be focused.
And the crowd was so loud. How did it feel from your place?
We are happy for this year, and thank you. Thank you. Yes.
All right, congratulations, and we hope to see you tomorrow and next days.
Big smiles there from those two.
So yes, as was mentioned there, the 500 is their big, that is an Olympic event, and that's their main focus. For a little bit of disappointment, I'm sure, for the Germans, but their focus as well will be the 500, K2 500. You have to think, though, Esti, the way the Poles finished, there'd be, if you back them in over the 500, maybe over the Germans. However, having said that, there's a few other crews who will have their say tomorrow, including New Zealand and a different Hungarian combination as well.
Be interesting to see how the Kiwis go. It's quite a young combination, and it's nice to see Amy Fisher back on the World Championship stage. So I think I'm pretty excited to see them race.
And Danielle McKenzie, she's an ocean racing world champion.
Yeah, and she had like a 4-month transition or something. It was really short, but I mean, World Championship A final, definitely she's doing something right.
So congratulations to the team from Poland. And now we move back to another of our para-canoe races, and you know, we talk about legends in sport, and we talk about people who are outstanding ambassadors. This race features maybe one of the biggest names in para-canoe racing. He's certainly the most successful athlete at a para-canoe level. He's the only athlete to have so far won 3 Paralympic gold medals. He won 2 in Tokyo. I'm talking about Australia's Curtis McGrath. Just a phenomenal athlete, but took last year off, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. He did set, though, the world's best time in the heats.
Yeah, he looks on top 4. Maybe that year's race did him really well. It's going to be exciting to see him.
Well, he will have his work cut out with the Ukrainian Mykola Sinuk, who has been chasing him all the way at every event they do. Sinuk took advantage of, and there's another man who'll chase him all the way, Federico Manchiarelli. He was 3rd in Tokyo, and he'll give this a bit of a shake as well. But there he is, Curtis McGrath, the most successful athlete of all time in para-canoe, having already picked up those 3 Paralympic gold medals. From Ukraine, Mykola Sinuk, who has been a world champion. He became world champion the year that Curtis McGrath took off, but he was also a silver medalist in Tokyo. He's the reigning world champion. So he's got something to defend here. You can guarantee that at some stage of this race, he'll be, and McGrath doesn't get out fast, so you'd expect Sinuk will be the early leader, and then McGrath will need to chase him down. It's just a question of
New Zealand, Scott Martlow.
Scott Martlow, 3rd at the last World Championships. Will be thereabouts.
And Mendy.
Marcus Mendy Swoboda.
Seen for many, many years from the beginning.
He's had a good haircut.
Had a good haircut.
I tell you what, Marcus Swoboda and Emilio Adamonok from Argentina, he's got a great backstory. Adamonok, but he's been getting faster and faster every time he gets on the water, so it's great to see him in this final. Marcus Swoboda last year did Sprint-Paracanoe. I think he did ocean racing. He also went and did freestyle.
He had a hell of a year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's such a fun year last year.
Unbelievable. The man is a machine.
There's no limit.
He just loves paddling. As you mentioned, Esty, he's been there since the start. He was the early leader in this field, and then Curtis McGrath came along. And, well, the rest is history. But let's have a look. There he is, Curtis McGrath. It'll be the man on his left that he'll be keeping a very close eye on, Mykola Syniuk from Ukraine. You can expect the Ukrainian will get out the fastest. And then it'll be up to McGrath to chase him down. And we are underway. Not a bad start, actually, from the Australian.
Not a bad start from Aussie, no.
So,
definitely not giving him an edge.
Look at them already, the pair of them. They're out going hammer and tong alongside each other. It's the Australian McGrath alongside him, the Ukrainian Syniuk. Australia's McGrath just in front now. Mancherelli from Italy giving a bit of cheek there.
Keeping it there.
Really throwing it down as well. In fact, Mancherelli is ahead of Syniuk at the moment, so he is sitting in the silver medal position. But it's McGrath from Australia. He's getting stronger by the stroke. Wow! He's put a boat length between himself and the rest of the field. The race is on for second. I think Syniuk from Ukraine is going to get there just ahead of Mancherelli. Oh, it's close. I think the Ukrainian got there for silver.
It looked like Mancherelli just missed the stroke there in the last few strokes before the line and lost some speed.
Well, we'll wait for the camera to confirm it. To my naked eye, I thought the Ukrainian maybe just got there, but no doubt about Curtis McGrath.
Absolutely dominant performance by him.
What a return to World Championship racing from the Australian.
Big guy.
He's a big lad.
He's a big lad.
He is a very big lad. A lovely bloke, I have to say. I am biased, but he's a top bloke.
He recently followed me on Instagram, and I had a little fangirl moment.
Did you really? Yeah. Well. But great race from the Ukrainian. Look, he had the work to do. He was sitting in third at the halfway stage. Let's have a look and see if he did get second. Mancherelli really went out hard.
Yeah, but it really just looked like there was some slip or something just before the line here.
Look at that, McGrath, more than a boat length in front. Oh, that is tight, isn't it?
I think the Ukrainian...
That is tight.
Looks like the Ukrainians got that one.
I think Syniuk must have just got there, I think, judging by that
Fourth
photo.
Goes to Scott Martlew from New Zealand.
McGrath first.
Dominant performance.
Yep, and Syniuk from Ukraine just holds on to second from Federico Mancherelli. At least Curtis McGrath's learnt some new celebration moves. He's got such a good poker face.
So in this event, is it also top six countries?
Top 6 countries. Top 6 countries, so Australia, Uzbekistan, Italy. I didn't see what was next. I'll just check that out while we are waiting to hear from Curtis McGrath. See what the 6 were, but let's have a listen to the Australian World Champion and Paralympic Champion,
Curtis McGrath, the return. 11 gold medal right now, a ticket to Paris. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's good. You know, the main goal was to get that ticket to Paris, so good that Australia got another ticket there, so very happy with the win. I was a bit nervous there, but you know, everyone's getting so good. It's great to see that the field's coming up and pushing me along at the same time.
I believe you took a break after Tokyo. How did you come back as fast as before?
I said it to Ross the other day. Sometimes you need a time away to regrow the passion, to make it burn that fire harder. So I'm just glad I can come back and be a part of the sport that I love, and I'm just happy to be here.
Congratulations on your medal in KL2. We look forward in VL tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Curtis McGrath.
Thank you.
He's a humble winner.
Yeah.
And he mentions about how good everyone's getting, but still not good enough to get within a boat length of him. But but he's still. I think he's come back. You're right, Esty. I think that year off has done him. He said that to me the other day, that he needed to have that mental break. So there we have, yes, the next 3: New Zealand, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. That's not a bad spread, is it, for countries with for quotas? Australia, Ukraine, Italy, New Zealand, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Really nice spread there for countries going to the Paralympic Games next year in Paris, which is 1 year away on Monday. It's 1 year to the Paralympics from Monday, so that's exciting.
A little bit scary, actually.
Yeah, it actually really is scary. And a lot of us are heading off to... Are you going to Paris?
Yeah, I'm
we've got a test
Paris.
event there on next week for the Para-Canoe and Canoe Sprint. So that'll be my first look at the course. Have you been on the course yet?
No, not I am. That's the reason why I'm going, is I really like to check it out before the games.
Yep. Work out which way to paddle, which way is backwards, which way is forward.
Which way is rowing and which way is canoeing.
Yes, exactly. Now, speaking of the Paralympic Games, this is a brand new event for the Paralympic Games next year. It will be introduced to the Games for the very first time, which is super exciting because it means that we will have parity in men's and women's events for the Paralympic Games next year, which is the way it should be. And it'll be fantastic to see the VL3, which has really grown in strength over the last couple of years. And some athletes here. We just saw Elia Chavet from France, Daniel Badalbeveva from Kazakhstan in lane 2. Kazakhstan's got a really strong
representation.
Para-canoe program,
Big contingency, yeah.
There is Gillian Ulwit from the United States of America in lane number 3. Next to her, the Canadian Erica Scarf, who had a very good World Cup event in Poznan last year. Hope Gordon, who has finished second on a few occasions, should be looking to win today because Charlotte Henshaw, who has won this race for so many years, is not competing. She's focusing on the KL race. So that throws the door wide open for Hope Gordon to become a world champion for the first time. Mari Santilli from Brazil will be her big challenger, and there is the Chinese athlete Yongyan Zong from China, looking very nervous, Esty.
Yeah, she does look a little bit tense and flustered.
Natalia Lahatenko, she's been paddling for a few years now from Ukraine. And on the outside, we'll have from Brazil, Erasingela Toniello from Brazil, making up the field in lane 9. Can you tell from the current there, Esty, whether there's a particular side of the course that is being favoured, or is it pretty even?
I don't think so. Duisburg's always been a pretty even course, sheltered with the forest and the trees and stuff around. So I think it's pretty even all around. If you look at the water from where we're sitting, it also looks quite even across the board.
Yeah, such a beautiful location, this.
Yeah.
We haven't been here since 2019. It's so good to be back racing.
Yeah, Duisburg's always treated me well, so
yep.
I always love coming back racing here.
And it's always good just racing in front of an appreciative crowd who know the sport.
Oh, absolutely.
And every ticket has been sold for this event. That's standing room only. In fact, you can't even get in. If you're not in, if you haven't got a ticket, you can't get in, basically, which is incredible. But we're about to get underway. This is the women's VL3 Para-Canoe, brand new event on the Paralympics program. And we are off, we are underway. Keep your eye on lanes 5 and lanes 4. Hope Gordon from Great Britain, Erica Scarf from Canada. I would expect Hope Gordon will go out hard. The Brazilian Santilli will also be in the mix for a medal. As we are underway now, and it is indeed Hope Gordon from Great Britain who's gone out the fastest. Santilli from Brazil, sticking with her though, so...
Well, as well as the Canadian on her right.
Erica Scarf is also challenging hard, but now Hope Gordon's put the foot down. She really has decided enough is enough. She wants to make this gold medal. She wants to make this World Championship her very own. She never won a world title in this event.
Mimicking that quick stroke rate from her teammate Emma Wiggs.
So Hope Gordon heading towards her first world title. Erica Scarf on her inside will pick up the silver, and it's going to be the Brazilian Santilli, I think, who will take the bronze. But well done, Hope Gordon. You are a world champion. Congratulations. Congratulations to Erica Scarf as well, and Mari Santilli. But that is an enormous relief, I'm sure, for Hope Gordon.
See, emotional response there in the crowd, assuming from the family. So amazing feeling for everyone
So often the bridesmaid.
Fantastic.
Today she's the bride, and look at that. Look at that family emotion.
That's amazing.
I'm sure
She's also a
behind
little bit
behind those sunglasses there may well be tears welling in her eyes right now. And I tell you who will be more than happy for Hope Gordon will be Charlotte Henshaw. I'll be expecting to see her somewhere on the pontoon waiting to congratulate her very close friend for becoming a world champion. Fantastic race, and well, Hope Gordon was a class above today. She really, when it came to the tough end of the race, she was the one who really took it out there, and nobody could go with her. Hope Gordon first, Erica Scarf second, Mari Santelli from Brazil third. It looks like Jillian Yorwit from the United States finished fourth. Yongyang Song from China fifth, and the Ukrainian Natalia Lahotenko sixth. So that's where your quotas will go. GB, Canada, Brazil, United States, China, and Ukraine. Congratulations to those 6 countries. You have a ticket to Paris. And look at that emotion. I love it.
That's cool.
I love it. It just means so much to so many people. And again, this camaraderie.
Yeah, but also, you know, it's not always just an athlete's win. There's so many people behind an athlete in the background that puts in the work and sacrifices just as much. So it's fantastic to see the emotion all around.
And fantastic to see the Great Britain team doing so. I mean, they put so much time and effort and money into the Paracanoe program, and they get the results.
Absolutely, they're reaping the rewards.
People say, oh, how come they're so good? Because they have such a good program.
Amazing.
Their program is exemplary. You know, the money they spend on it, the training, the coaching, the staff, everything is done so professionally, and this is the result. So Hope Gordon, the world champion, for the first time. Let's have a listen to Hope.
Hope Gordon, after 3 silver medals, here you are in gold in a new Olympic or Paralympic event. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think everyone in the team this week has got a job to do. As individuals and as a team, my job was to qualify this boat for Paris. So I'm just happy to have done my bit for the team, and winning's pretty cool too.
How do you feel about this venue, this crowd? Did it help?
Oh, it's amazing, and it's a bit cooler as well today, which suits me right down to the ground. I think if I was out early in the pitch and rain, it'd be quite good as well. But yeah, my family are up in the crowd, so it's amazing to have them here.
Congratulations again, Hope. Well done, world champion.
Thank you very much.
Yes, she's looking for a family.
Again, you hear talking about the team.
Yeah.
You know, and that just solidifies the amazing program and the team that they have together at GB Paracanoe.
Yeah, I have to say though, I would have liked her to have been a little bit emotional about being a world. I mean, she's a world champion, for goodness' sake.
I think she will be. As soon as she touches down with the family, she's going to be bawling.
They're going to say to her, "Hey, you're a world champion."
I think.
You know, they don't just hand that out like in cornflakes packets.
I reckon that's all still adrenaline. Wait till she gets that first hug, and she's going to be absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I would be.
I'm crying even thinking about it. I'm not even close to being a world champion in anything. So, well done to Hope Gordon. Now you can hear the crowd getting excited. They're starting to build up here. That's the Hungarians, I think.
Oh yeah.
There they are. They bought
Telltale Hungarian drum that follows every single ICF regatta.
It's come all the way from Szeged to be here at these World Championships. The Hungarians hoping to have something to cheer about a little bit later on today. They haven't got any athletes in this event, though. Coming up next, it's the men's KL 3200. This really is, I have to say, Esti, a wide open race. We have Juan Val from Spain. He is the defending world champion. But we have Dylan Littlehales, who now lives with Curtis McGrath on the Gold Coast. They train together. They just work off each other and feed off each other. And you would have to think that living under the skin of Curtis McGrath, not in a way that's annoying.
Yeah.
So they're loving it. When you would have to soak up some of that excitement, some of that energy. So there he is, Dylan Littlehouse from Australia. Again, we talk about always the bridesmaid, never the bride, always the groomsman, never the groom. Dylan Littlehouse has been waiting a long, long time to get up there and become a world champion. Could today be the day? This is the man he needs to beat, though. Juan Vale from Spain.
Jonathan Young from Great Britain had a really good World Cup. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that big man as well.
Yeah, he was good in his. He was very, very good as well in the semi-finals. The quickest time in the semi-finals was set by Dylan Littlehouse. Corbin Hart, who burst onto the scene just before the Tokyo Olympics, said nobody had heard from him before, and he turned up and everyone said he was like a machine. He was like he had a speedboat attached to his canoe. So he'll go fast as well. And Kasan Kurdashev from Uzbekistan again. Uzbekistan's such a great para-canoe program, and really fantastic to see some of these countries producing not just 1 or 2 athletes, but 5 and 6 athletes.
Yeah. And again, we've got the top 6 boats or nations that get a qualification spot.
Yep, correct. We have no doubling up in this event, so let's watch this race with interest. It's going to be... I didn't mention the Algerian, by the way.
I was just thinking that he medalled. He won.
He did. No, he won a medal in... it was at the last World Championships.
Yeah, he did really well.
Ibrahim Gundez, and he was fast as well. So it's a really open race, possibly one of the most open races we've had so far today. We're underway. It looks like Littlehouse from Australia has got out really fast. There he is there, Dylan Littlehouse from Australia. Jonathan Young going with him, and look at the Spaniard goes. Well, he is really pushing it in. And the Algerian, woohoo! Brahim Gundez is the man to catch. He is really pinning the ears back here. Dylan Littlehouse is trying to get to him. Jonathan Young is also going. It's Dylan Littlehouse, I think, or Gundez from Algeria. It's a race between, and Jonathan Young in the middle,
coming
through.
strong.
The man from Great Britain. It's Algeria
so
and
close.
Great Britain. I think it's going to be Australia. Whoa! Dylan Littlehouse got there. Just. I think.
I don't know, but I was also looking at third between Poland and Algeria, and I was just as close.
Well, I think Dylan Littlehouse got there. Jono Young giving him the thumbs up, as if to say, well done, mate, you got there.
Yeah.
AC/DC's playing, so that must mean it was an Australian win. Wow, that was an incredible finish. I think during that race we had 3 different leaders.
Yeah.
During that race.
Yeah, Algeria just went out the blocks flying.
The Algerian Gundez, he was leading. Jonathan Young took over in the lead, and then Dylan Littlehouse just flew home at the end. Oh, that is a race that I could watch over and over again for the excitement and the drama. But we haven't had confirmation yet. I think, though, to my eye, it was very close.
Oh, it was very close. You can see the Algerian powering
Algerian's
through.
in front here. So here he was, and clearly in front too.
Yeah.
By a long way. Jonathan Young's in front there. Dylan Littlehouse is in front.
Yeah.
On the line.
Oh, I can't call third.
I think Algeria third, I reckon. Ooh.
I don't know. I was so close.
Maybe the pole got up. Let's have a look on the outside.
Poland. I don't know.
I reckon Poland.
You reckon? That was very close. I don't even think I want to call that one.
Look how excited Dylan Littlehouse is. I mentioned he's waited a long time for this. And he will be pretty pumped. He's rocking that moustache. He's been working on a lot. He takes a lot of pride in it. He's very happy with it. And he's now very happy to be a world champion as well. Dylan Littlehouse, he's been around for a while. He's worked hard. Moved in with Curtis McGrath. I don't know how much rent he pays, but it's about to be doubled. Let's have a listen to our world champion, Dylan Littlehouse from Australia.
Dylan Littlehouse, Australia, world champion, KL3. What a race.
Yeah, it was an amazing race. Johnny has pushed me right to the end there, and I was starting to blow up, which I didn't do either the heat or the semi, so I was starting to panic there, but just managed to hold on, and here we are.
How do you feel about the qualification to Paris?
It's ticked off the list, which is the main thing. Getting that top 6 is always huge, so just got to get my spot in the Australian team next year, and hopefully in Paris I can repeat.
It's been a while, you've been around a while. Finally, you reached the gold medal. All this year of sacrifice. What does it make of it?
It's everything. I've been competing at the Senior World Champ since I was 15 years old, and every year just getting that step closer. I thought it was going to come with the World Cups, but unfortunately didn't, so it really gave me more to drive through the next 3 months, and it's good to finally tick it off the list.
You deserve it. Congratulations, Dylan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, it's so cool to see everyone. So absolutely.
Poland did get there, did they? Oh my God, look at the difference.
Oh my word.
Look at the difference between 3rd and 4th. Oh. So let's have a look at your top 6 there. Algeria getting a quota, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. Go Africa.
The defending world champion, Val from Spain, is 5th. He was never really in the hunt.
No, it was all up to those top 4 boats. They were.
Yep.
I must say, the Polish athlete sneaked up on me a little bit there on the outside lane.
He got under my guard as well, just really flying home. And Jonathan Young, I mean, he's been around for a long time now, Jonathan Young. I think he's born in 84, so he's coming up to being the big 4-0, which is, of course, the new 20.
Absolutely.
40 is the new 20.
It's been live starts.
But still paddling like a 20-year-old Jonathan Young. And he'll have his fingers crossed now. It's a hot race in Great Britain for that Paracanoe spot. But he's in good form. But Dylan Littlehales, as he said, he's been doing this since he was 15, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
SD Oliver, and now he's a world champion. So good on him. Something to be super excited about, and he'll sleep very well tonight, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're getting through our finals today. Just, of course, remember, this all happens again tomorrow and on Sunday. We'll have more racing coming your way, live from Duisburg. My name is Ross Solly. Sitting alongside me is South African kayak paddler SD Oliver, who hopes to be at her first Olympics in Paris next year, which means she won't be able to sit in the commentary box with me, but that's okay. I think you'd prefer if a choice came and it was sit in the commentary box or compete at the Olympics.
I think I'll take the games.
Ah, that's so mean.
I really do enjoy it, but
yeah, no, that's okay. I'll let you off. I think if I got the opportunity, I'd go to the games as well as competitor. So we've just got a handful of races left today. Of course, don't go anywhere, folks, because we have got the excitement of the men's and women's K4 500 coming up very soon. Look at that camaraderie there between Team GB and Team Australia.
That's a nervous hand there.
It's a nervous, yes, it's a stress ball made of paper. Stress ball made of paper.
Yeah, so we're moving on to the 500-meter races now. That having been our final... No, we still have one 200.
We've got the C2 women 200.
So we are final 200 for now.
Yes, and very interesting field, including a couple of the athletes who were racing earlier in the C1 200. Antia Chicomi from Spain, who has an I think she's doing everything. And Maria Corbera from Spain. They'll be your favourites here, I suspect. Of course, their main focus is the 500 tomorrow, but I'm expecting that they will be very hard to beat. Of course, the Chinese, this is their second boat, really. They have the world champions and Olympic champions in the 500, but they've got a very strong boat here in the 200 as well. The Moldovans are strong, the Hungarians are strong. It's a really good, even field, the C2 women's 200.
It's also good to see some other girls from the USA coming through in the canoeing discipline.
Yep.
So
very young team, the Americans, which is good for them because, of course, we're going to Los Angeles in 2028. And so by then, a lot of these young paddlers are going to be at their very, very peak.
Yeah.
At their peak form. So,
well, it's a good time to start and getting them used to this level of racing, experience and everything. I'm pretty sure America's going to be well represented across the board come LA.
I think you might be right. What's the atmosphere been like here this week, Esty? I walked around on the opening couple of days, just around the boat sheds, and there's a real vibe. There's a lot of nervous energy.
Yeah, there's a buzz.
Yeah,
there's like everyone's friendly and you know, but everyone's kind of to themselves at the moment. But it feels like the earth is buzzing underneath.
There's a World Championships with Olympic qualifiers on the line. Does it feel different to a regular World Championships?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's a culmination of all the work you've put in trying to get to the games, and if you don't manage to really push it here, then your chances get slimmer and slimmer as we go along. So continental qualifications, I mean, for Europe, for instance, qualify continentally, it's extremely tough, I think one of the harder qualifications for continental routes is through Europe. So I think most of the Europeans want to do it here and get it over with.
Yeah, it's certainly good to have that locked away. I think the European qualifiers are also in Szeged next year. Don't quote me on this, but I think in 1 week we have the European qualifiers, we have the Paracanoe World Championships, and we have a regular World Cup event, all in Szeged over 1 week. So it's a big week of racing, and it really will be the last chance saloon for a lot of athletes to get their tickets.
Yeah, but it was the same for Tokyo. The European qualifiers was like 2 days before the World Cup, and it was the World Cup, and then we went and it was global qualifiers at the second World Cup.
In Barnell. Remember we went in Siberia?
Oh, it was cold.
It was very
goodness.
We were down there in the middle of nowhere. It was a great event. Gee, they put on a great show out there in Siberia, for sure.
But it was cold, and they kept telling me it was summer, and I'm like, you're lying.
Yeah. We did go there 1 year for Barnell for a Super Cup, and it actually was hot. It was surprisingly hot in Siberia, but.
It snowed when we were there for like half an hour, and there was like some snow.
Yeah, but it was hot snow.
No, what is hot snow?
No, it wasn't hot snow at all.
There's no such thing.
No. But that was for the Olympic qualifiers.
Yeah, that global qualification.
Yeah, but the Super Cup that when we went to Barnell, it was quite nice there, the weather, from memory.
The last day, I remember the last day of the World Cup in Barnell when we raced the final. It was lovely. It was really a nice day, but the first few days were so get chilled from the bone, from the inside out. It was quite fresh, quite a challenge for us. Southern Hemisphere people.
Yes, tell me about it. Yeah. Well, I just had great fun telling my family and friends that I was going to Siberia.
Yeah, and everyone was like, whoa, that's exciting. I'm like, oh, but it actually was very exciting.
It was very interesting. Anyway, enough geography lessons. Now we're talking about the C2 Women's 200, and look at that field there. We have Poland, Uzbekistan, Germany, Spain, China, Moldova, Hungary, the United States of America, and Canada. It is not an Olympic event, but it is a World Championship event, quite obviously, so there are world titles up for grabs. And there, I remember the first time I saw Gulbakar from Uzbekistan, I was at the Youth Olympics in Argentina a few years back, and she really looked like a young paddler who was going places then, so she's still only 21. So she's got a big future in front of her. The Germans are going to be very strong, Lisa Yard and Hedy Klemke. I think they are your favourites.
Strong
Yeah, I expect that they will medal. It's just a question of what colour. And here, Jacomi and Maria Corbera. The Chinese are strong always in canoe paddling.
Never can count them out.
And of course, Wenjun Lin, she was also in the 200 earlier on. She was the early leader. Remember, she led early on in the 200 final and then faded. So it'll be interesting to see how much petrol she's got left in the tank. The Moldovans, Kochia and Olarissa have been paddling together for a while. The Hungarians, of course, Horeni and Takacs. the young Americans, as David Bowie once sang. They're in lane 8. And speaking of young paddlers, the Canadians, Jason Grant and Julia Sendi, of course, spent so many years paddling in the juniors and the under-23s, and now here she is at a World Championships. It's going to be a good race. I'm looking forward to this. I'm expecting the Spaniards, the Chinese, and the Germans to really give this a shake. The Germans, they're looking forward to a gold medal, I think. The crowd have been very patient.
The crowd have been very patient.
They're starting to say, we want our money's worth. We paid good money to come in here. Can we have a gold medal, please? So let's see if it is Lisa Jahn and Hedy Klimke from Germany who can keep the crowd happy. They're a happy crowd anyway. They're having a lot of fun. They love canoe sprint. They're just loving being here this afternoon. The weather is 100% improvement this morning. We're underway in the women's C2 200 metres. Pretty even start, I have to say. And again, it's the Chinese who've gone out hard. With Wenjian Lin at the back of the boat. The Moldovans going with them. The Spaniards are there also. It's very even at the moment. It's the Chinese in front. The Spaniards now slowly pulling them in. And the Hungarians are there as well, as are the Germans. But it's China in front. The Spaniards now throwing down the challenge. It's China in front. Spain trying everything to get to them. But I think the Chinese are going to hold on. Are they? Spain coming hard late. But it's China just in front of Spain. The Germans get third. The Germans pick up a bronze medal. But
Attention for China coming with a bronze medal in the C1 200 meter.
Yes.
Capping that with gold. Brilliant silver for the Spanish. Bronze to Germany.
There you go. Listen to the Germans. Listen how they react when they get a bronze. Maybe that's the Spaniards.
I think it's the Spaniards.
That's the Spaniards getting into it. This is no time for swimming, girls. They're talking over things. How the race went.
No, the Spanish are always a very entertaining crowd. They usually rock up in their numbers.
I think the Germans now just waiting to see, did they win the medal? Did they get there? Yes, you did, girls. You got the bronze. So you have reason to celebrate. But let's not take anything away from the Chinese. Chang Wang-Shui and Wenjian Lin. You would have to think now they would be very strong favourites to win the double in the C2 events because they will start red-hot favourites in the women's C2 500.
A lot of opportunity for those C1 quotas to do double up and roll back.
Yeah, they've done well. Moldovans were good for a while, but fell off towards the end. But the Chinese, the Spaniards threw everything at them. They didn't, when you see there was a big distance there, and if the race had gone for another 20 metres, well, maybe the Spaniards might have got them, but that was a perfectly judged race for the Chinese. Silver, and the Germans confirming, whoa, and going in on the finish line.
Just in time.
Just in time. I think the rule is that you've got to be in the boat when it crosses the finish line, don't you?
Yeah, as long as you've crossed the finish line, but if you're out the boat when the boat goes over, then...
So you can't jump out of the boat and throw the boat across the line.
No.
Now, Michelle Alacorn, our interviewer, I told him to practice his Chinese because I thought there'd be a fair chance he'd get to speak to some Chinese athletes. Let's see how he's gone as we listen to our C2 Women's 200. As the German fans are celebrating the German athletes being brought back on the boat. What's going on?
Congratulations to the Chinese team, Shui Shangwen and Ling Weijun. What a race.
Very good race. She is my new partner, but this race I think very, very good. She is also a good C1 200 meter athlete. So I believe we can more and more better. Yeah.
And we hope. Congratulations for your win, gold champion China.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Well, he didn't get a chance to practice his Chinese because their English has become so good, but what a great result there.
Nice talking up her teammates.
Yes, well, Wenjun Lin is talking up her teammate who wasn't in the C1 200, so obviously there's a bit of depth there.
Yeah, maybe see the K4 starting to go through boat control for a few races from now. We'll see the big boats.
That is definitely the German crowd you can hear now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now we move to the 500 meter races.
Yes, yes we do. And interestingly here on my form, it looks like Germany's Konrad Schiebner is out of the final, which I'm surprised about. I'll just wait for confirmation on that, but it says here on my start list that he's cancelled. It's cancel culture for you in 2023, but Konrad Schiebner, it looks like he's not going to take the start line, which is surprising because that's his main event here this week, the 500.
Oh.
He was okay. I saw him in the semis and he looked in good form, but we'll see. There's probably, I'm sure there's a story behind that. Look at the celebration there. Look at the camaraderie between the rival teams here. It really is a wonderful opportunity to catch up with friends and to make new friends, Esty. I know that there's there's that single-mindedness of winning medals and getting into the finals, but it's a big family, the canoeing family.
No, it is a big family, definitely. So we won't be seeing the Brazilian lining up for this event.
No, the defending champion Ezequias is not racing here. Of course, this is not an Olympic event. What you will see, though, is the defending 500 world champion, Caitlin Chirilla, who has been in awesome form this week. He's really, in the last couple of years, Esty, has stamped himself as the premier men's canoe paddler in the world. And he will be really tough to beat in the 1,000. Interesting to see how he goes in the 500. He was a silver medalist at the last World Championships. He was silver medalist at the Europeans. He'll have an interesting battle with the Moldovan Sergei Tarnovsky,
who
has been paddling for a while. Also keep your eye out for Yuri Minarich from the Czech Republic. There he is there on screen, a bit hungry.
Quite interesting avatar he's got going on there. That's definitely a first.
So Konrad Schiebner is here, so I'm not quite sure why my
screen says cancel.
It says cancel, but he's here, so that changes everything because he is an absolute competitor, Konrad Schiebner.
There's the Moldovan.
The Moldovan Tarnovsky, of course, missed the Olympics. Well, he got disqualified from Rio for a positive test. But he's back now and racing, has been for quite some time. There is the man that everybody will want to catch, Caitlin Chirilla. And great to see Romania with a paddler of world standard who is a serious Olympic gold medal threat. Expect something from this guy, Pavlo Altikov from Ukraine. He's always thereabouts. See you later from China. And in lane 8, Sergei Yemelyanov from Kazakhstan. And on the extreme outside, racing down in front of his home fans, but a very enthusiastic Spanish crowd, is Adrian Sierro. So we're watching Chirilla, we're watching Schiebner, we're watching Tarnovsky, and the Ukrainian Altikov as well. These are the big threats. And we're underway. Chirilla, not the best of starts. And on his inside, in fact, it was Tarnovsky who it looked like SD got the best of starts. And Schiebner now from Germany.
So Schiebner and Sergei Tarnovsky got really good starts out the blocks.
So Konrad Schiebner is out in front now. He is in, but it's Chirilla who's chasing him down already. Tarnovsky falling back a little bit, but it's Konrad Schiebner who is leading at this stage. It is a 500-meter race, though, folks. There is a long way to go.
China and Spain seem to be keeping contact with Schiebner as well.
So Chirilla now moves into the front. Look at him, he's like a well-oiled machine. It's the Chinese who's going with him, and down here on the inside, it is the Spaniard as well. So Chirilla from Romania. It is Sierra from Spain and Yu from China. The three at the moment who are really putting down the challenge. Conrad Schiebner is still there, but look at Chirilla. Look at this man go. He is an absolute incredible machine.
Athlete from Czech Republic up in lane 2 also seems to be having a good final surge there. But I think the Spanish athlete's going to get a major boost coming past the crowd.
Not much doubt about our winner, though. Look at Catalin Chirilla. He is going further ahead the closer he gets to the finish line. Catalin Chirilla from Romania. Conrad Schiebner.
Challenge from Germany coming through.
He is lifting Conrad Schiebner. He is really lifting, but he's left it too late, I think, has he? He's pulling him in. Chirilla, Schiebner, and it looks like Tarnowski finishing well as well. Oh, Schiebner's flying, but he's not going to get there. Chirilla gets the gold. Schiebner, a brave race from Conrad Schiebner from Germany, but he left it just a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And Sergei Tarnowski from Moldova picking up another medal. Another medal for Sergei Tarnowski.
Yeah, the Romanian had some extra energy to respond to the Germans' challenge there and managed to hold it, but what an amazing finish there from Conrad as well.
It was an interesting race from Schiebner. He went out hard. I think he saved a bit of petrol in the middle of the race for the run home, but
that gap was just a little bit too big to make up, and the Romanian seemed very determined to take that win.
It's a hard man to pull in, I think, once he's in front, Catalin Chirilla, and this is a warm-up race for him, really, because it's the C1 1000 that he's got his sights on. He wants to be the world champion. He wants to defend his world title and book that ticket as well for Paris next year. The Chinese paddler was up there early on, as was the Spaniard, Sierra. In fact, at the 200-metre mark, it was the Spaniard and the Chinese athlete and the Romanian who looked like they had the race between them. But look there, that is Chirillo first, Schiebner second, and Tarnowski third. Perfectly timed race again. Schiebner flying home and Tarnowski taking the bronze, but there he is, the happy Romanian. Won a world title in the bag. Would be a brave person to bet against him winning another one tomorrow, but that the weekend. Schiebner disappointed not to be doing the 1000. Sebastian Brendel got the nod ahead of him to do the 1000, but went out and showed that he is in good form, taking the silver medal. But here is our world champion, Catalin Chirilla from Romania, down on the celebration deck with our man of the moment, Michel Alacorn. We'll have a listen to our world champion.
Catalin Chirilla, world champion, C1 500 meter. How do you feel?
I feel very good. Thank you to all for your support.
And
I love this regatta.
And this is the first time you win a 500 meter gold medal. You already have a 1,000 meter. Which distance is your favorite one?
1,000. But I love 500. I'm a world champion.
You deserve it. Congratulations, Kathleen.
Thank you, thank you.
It's fair to say it's just nice to be world champion.
I'm always deeply suspicious when someone tells me how much they love 1,000 over 500. It looks like very hard work to me, but
looks like 500 meters too far.
Yeah. So there we have confirmation there. Chirilla finishing 0.35 of a second ahead of Konrad Schiebner from Germany. Tarnowski from Moldova. Gee, he's got a good collection of bronze medals now. The Czech Minarek fourth. Zero from Spain fading to fifth. And the Chinese paddler Yu really dropping off there towards the end. Look, there's everyone's favourite international technical officer there, Marian, who's here as an observer and second most famous Romanian after Catalin Chirilla. I can tell you the whole of Romania is going to be behind him next year in Paris. They will be really on board. It's been a long time since the Romanians have won an Olympic gold medal. in canoe sprints. So you can imagine the excitement there will be in Paris next year. If he gets there, if he gets the nod, of course.
Yeah, well, he looks on form, so let's hope everything goes according to plan for him.
We have 2 races to go, Esty, and this is...
Big boat time.
Oh,
big
my
boat
goodness.
Time.
This is... So this is excitement plus. Let me just fill you in on the background here. So we will, this week, learn the 10 boats which will be going to Paris. I can tell you now, all 9 of these boats are going to Paris. There is no doubt about that. Well, I shouldn't say there's no doubt about that because this is the Olympics and this is selection, but these 9 boats have all earned their ticket at the moment. The winner of the B final, well, they might not go because basically the B final will be a race between the countries, the continents that have not yet got a medal, and basically that is a race between Canada and Mexico.
Yep.
For who will get the 10th position.
That's what the B final is going to be all about.
So now all 9 boats here can race knowing they're safely going to Paris. Now they want to become world champions. There are your favourites. I think it's fair to say they will start favourite Poland. The Spaniards were also very, very good in their heat. They won straight through to the final. I think they surprised a few people.
I definitely think so.
The Chinese also won straight through to the final. They won a World Cup earlier this year. They're a much improved combination. The Germans were very good.
In the semi-finals?
In their semi-final. They've got the crowd behind them, as you can hear.
This is going to be a very exciting race. There's no crew here that I don't think does not deserve to be in this final.
Absolutely not, and I don't think there is any crew here. There's the Norwegians. How fantastic to see them.
I was so surprised to see their performance. How amazing. I think they are elated. Because I think almost they were one of the younger crews that actually made it through with the Aussies.
Yeah, well, the Australians is a very young crew. The Germans are quite young as well. But Norway, yeah, they are racing now with the knowledge that when they woke up this morning, they didn't know whether they could get to the Olympics or not. Now they've got a boat in there. Now they can just pin their ears back.
They can just enjoy this race.
Just go for it.
They can have an absolute blast down this course.
The Polish crew, I think, deserve to be favourites for this. They've been the most consistent crew since Tokyo. They won bronze in Tokyo. The Germans are strong. The Hungarians are strong. We didn't mention New Zealand, of course. They have a young lady called Lisa Carrington. There she is, sitting in the front of the boat.
Yeah, just a name to mention.
I mean, any boat that's got Lisa Carrington in it is a good boat.
Yeah.
We are underway. Listen to the crowd, folks. They will be getting behind their German crew here. Poland in lane 4. They are the ones to watch, and they are out fast. So are the Spaniards, though. And down here, closest to the camera, it looks like it's the Australians as well, who've gone out really, really hard. This is going to be a fantastic 500-metre race.
The Hungarians seem to have a really slow start out the blocks. They're almost half a boat length behind.
Yeah, they've left themselves some work to do because it's, at this stage it looks like it's New Zealand and Australia. Now, Australia there, the green boat, possibly just in front, but 3 up from them. It's the Spaniards, and next to them, Poland, who are also going hard, but it's Australia just in front. Now Poland move through. New Zealand are with them. The Spaniards are sticking with them. The Hungarians have dropped them right back. They are out of this race. So it's New Zealand, it's Poland, it's Spain, it's Australia. New Zealand at the moment, Lisa Carrington powering this Kiwi crew towards the line. Poland sticking with them. Spain just dropping off the pace a little bit. It's New Zealand in front. Poland now throwing down the challenge. New Zealand holding on, holding on. Lisa Carrington, you cannot get ahead of this young lady from New Zealand. Can you? Poland throwing everything at them now. They don't want to lose this world title, but I think the New Zealand crew are going to hold on. It's New Zealand in front. Poland trying their hardest, but New Zealand are going to be world champions. Poland second. Oh, Spain third. New Zealand are world champions. What does that mean for this crew?
What an amazing race.
Over the moon. They cannot believe it. There are 3 young ladies there who are thinking, we are now world champions. Lisa Carrington says, oh yes, this is all in a day's work. But I know what this will mean.
I don't know, hey. I think she just appreciates every title she wins as much as the first one.
Look at that emotion. Oh my God, I'm tearing up myself.
Oh, what amazing. I have chills from that race. That was amazing. To take the win from a boat like the Polish ladies, that was just...
It is now 20 past 4 in the morning in New Zealand. I hope you are up watching this at home in the land of the long white cloud, because your 4 young ladies are now world champions. They've knocked off the Polish crew, who deserve to be favourites, but look at that. That is an amazing result. And strong out of the blocks. The Australians threw it out there early on. The Hungarians, they were pushed out the back really quickly. They were out of the race at the 100-metre mark. But the Poles and the New Zealanders, the Spaniards were brave early on, but they couldn't hold the pace. The Germans also struggled overall. Let's have a look at the official placings. We're waiting for that to come through, but it's New Zealand, Poland, and Spain. They are your top 3. And, well, gee, the Germans and the Hungarians finishing this Hungarians 7th, the Germans 8th. What can I say about that? China 4th, Australia 5th. Look at this reaction from the New Zealand team. I love it.
Unbelievable.
I love it. Alicia Hoskin there. She's been Lisa Carrington's K2 partner. Lisa Carrington, this means the world to her as well.
Not often that you see her, like, showing so much emotion and reaction after winning a race, but how special.
They've worked so hard.
That's very special.
And the tears there from Olivia Brett, Tara Vaughan, Alicia Hoskin, Lisa Carrington's just, oh wow, this means so much for New Zealand to be a world champion the year before an Olympics. Are we going to do an interview? Yes, we are, Lisa. We want to hear what you've got to say. Let's have a listen to our New Zealand world champions.
Congratulations. The Kiwi team is a winner, the world champion. How does that feel with a ticket to Paris?
Oh, wow, I can't believe it. I mean, this is the first ever time a women's K4 has ever won a world championship. So, I mean, that's super special. And to do it with these girls, I mean, we've worked incredibly hard. So, I mean, we're just so proud. I'm so proud of them.
Lisa, you had a lot of medals, but it's the first K4 gold medal. What does it mean for you?
Yeah, it's amazing, I think. I don't know, it's amazing what teamwork can do, so we're just really proud. And I mean, it's an amazing group of women to race against, so we thank them for putting their best on the line too.
A very happy Kiwi team. Congratulations, world champion, road to Paris. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, and they're now running over. I don't know if they're allowed to do this, but they're going to do it anyway. They're running over to hug their family and their coaches. It's just such an emotional moment for this New Zealand team. As Lisa said, the first time ever that the New Zealand team has won a K4
They've
gold.
always been up there, but they've never really taken that top podium spot. But they've done it.
Yeah.
What a year to do it in.
I mean, they were, after Rio, for a couple of years there, they were up there, and everybody thought that maybe Tokyo would be their time, but it didn't come to fruition. And now here we are a year out from Paris, and they are the top team in the world, and they've beaten some very, very good teams. They've tinkered with their lineups, but so I think this one's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
By the way, we should say well done to Poland. I mean, they are consistently a good team.
Yeah, and be sure to watch that space. They're not going to take this lying down come Paris. So
nope. And the Spaniards, well, they are an improved team for sure. The Spaniards,
definitely.
China there as well. But we'll watch the B final with interest, because that's where we'll find out who the 10th team is. But now let's move to our final race on the program for today. On our television broadcast, we've got some other finals, B finals, etc., coming up. But this is This is interesting because there are 9 boats here, but not all of these boats are going to go to Paris.
Yeah, so there's only 2 continents, Europe and Oceania, present. And within the top 10 boats, we have to have at least 4 continents represented.
We have to have 4 continents, so we have to have 2 more boats come into this field. So that means that the European boat that finishes last will not go to Paris.
No, they will be replaced by an Asian or a America's boat.
Correct. So
which will be determined in the B final.
That'll be determined in the B final as well. So while we'll be watching to see who becomes world champion, we'll also be watching to see which European boat finishes last, because unfortunately for them, and what a situation to be in, SD, because you've made it through to a final and you still don't know that you're guaranteed a ticket to Paris.
Yeah. No, it's no joke.
But that's what it's all about. That's what the World Championships are all about. That's what the race to Paris is all about, and that's what being a global sport is all about. Well, the German crowd have waited. They're patient. They're very, very patient. They're hoping that this is going to be it. But I tell you what, everybody is talking about Serbia, and everyone is talking about how much improvement there's been amongst the Serbians. Since the Europeans, they've got a lot faster. Now, everything's clicked in place for them. There they are.
Well, the only boat that can really go into this race knowing that their tickets are punched is Australia, because everyone else is European.
Australia.
So the Aussies are like, Kif, let's just go for that world title now.
You know, if the Australians want to do some trash talking before, they could just say to everybody, hey, guys, we'll see you in Paris. Oh, actually, we don't. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
But... well, I tell you what, we just saw New Zealand win the world title. Could the Australians win it? The Ukrainians are very strong, maybe they're favourites. Of course, we know how strong the Germans are. The Lithuanians surprised us earlier this year. Serbia have got stronger. It's going to be a fascinating race. We're underway.
I love watching this. This is like poetry in motion.
So the pink boat is the German boat. That is the home crowd favourites. Right next to them is the Serbians. The Ukrainians next to them. The Hungarians up near the top of the screen in lane 2, but at the moment it's Germany and Serbia, and Hungary are there. Hungary is sitting there in second position at the moment, but the Germans, Lithuania also throw down a bit of a challenge. It looks like Serbia and Germany though, and Hungary are there also. The Spaniards, who a month ago were the favourites, they are really having to work hard here to get back in for a medal. But it looks like at this stage the Hungarians are the ones who are going out hard. Hungary in front, Serbia second. Coming through as well is Ukraine. They will finish strong. The Ukrainians will finish strong. Now the Germans, the crowd is lifting the home team boat, and the Germans are flexing their muscles. Listen to the crowd get behind the German team of Rensmith, Lemke, Schott and Licia Lutz. It's Germany in front. Hungary fighting hard, Ukraine fighting hard, but the crowd have risen to their feet, folks. They're cheering the Germans home. They've got a gold medal. They're world champions. Germany first, Ukraine second. Ooh, third maybe Hungary, I'm not sure. But look at that excitement from the German team.
First gold.
First gold.
What a race to do it in.
Back in form.
Style. Hungarian celebrating as well. And it looked like the last boat over the line was Poland. So they...
Ooh. Okay. And the Spaniards, well, let's just have a listen for a moment to this German crowd. You can see the Hungarian, Benson Adas there. He's pretty happy. He's pretty happy. They've got a medal. There are plenty who are wanting to write the Hungarians off.
Yeah. And if he manages to qualify the K2 with Balint, then his spot will also be rolling back in the men's category.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's going to throw things.
Well, it's going to be very happy for someone else.
Yeah, wow. Wow. So the Germans, I tell you what the difference has been, I think. They've been waiting all year. Poor old Jakob Schoff, he has been struggling with his health. I think he had a bit of long COVID there for a little while. He had some other illness. He's never been 100%. I saw him a couple of days ago. I spoke to him. He told me, hand on his heart, he told me he was 100% fit again. There he is. He's the third guy in the boat. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's happy. He's very happy. He's been waiting to get fit. There's nothing worse, Esty, when you're an elite athlete, when you're not 100%.
No, it's terrible. It's the most frustrating thing.
So what a moment of relief.
Elation from the crowd.
And the Germans, well, I mean, they've really made the K4 their boat for so long.
Absolutely. There we have it. Hungary got the silver, Ukraine got the bronze.
Look at Spain, back in 7th. Wow. Serbia falling off as well at the end. And Poland, well, sadly for them,
they are
the
sacrificial lambs for the continental qualifications.
So the crowd here, I hope you can hear it at home, folks. They are absolutely loving this result because they've waited all day. They're enthusiastic. They love their.
What a way to end it for the Germans.
Tom Liebscher looks there. Recently became a dad. Something to get excited about as well. German fans loving the fact that their K4 boys are world champions again. Jakob Schoff there is in the K2 1000 in Tokyo, where they were expecting to win gold and ended up being pipped by the Australians. Max Lepke, Max Rentschmidt have been a formidable crew for a long, long time, and now we're seeing them back at their very, very best. Let's have a listen to our world champions, the K4 men from Germany. If we can get a word in above the crowd.
World champion. How does that feel to win in front of your crowd?
Yeah, it's fantastic. They give us so much power, and now I'm a bit over.
Yeah, I can just say the same. Und danke Duisburg.
You obviously got the quota for Paris, but being the world champion right now, how do you feel about the preparation leading to Paris?
I think we had a difficult year after quite disappointing European Games for us. We had needed some time to figure it out together. And I'm just so happy and relieved that we managed to pull ourselves together and have this result here. It's amazing.
And how do you feel in a boat with this crowd? Does it make a difference for you?
Yeah, normally yes, but if you live with them on a room the half year, it's really hard. But now we make a little party and want to look Jakob in his mixed K2.
Congratulations to the German team, world champion.
Well, it is always great, of course, when the home nation has a success.
Kichi celebrating with his team there. Lots of work put into that crew as well.
Yeah, they're the silver medalists, the Hungarians. So, I mean, the Germans and the Hungarians have had a long rivalry. Now, we'll be looking around, though, wondering where the Spanish are. They're the ones, that's probably the story from today. Look at the medal table. Australia there with the Paracanoe. That brings us to an end today. Esty, thank you so much for being part of the commentary team again. It's been fantastic watching, hasn't it?
Thank you for having me.
Your insights have been really, really interesting. Good luck to you later on this year for the World Championships, for your qualifiers. Thank you for your company today. We'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you can join us from Duisburg, Germany, and some more fantastic racing. Over and out.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very 2 hours, it was like